abandoned having the Knicks in bottom. I'm a little surprised they didn't just see how much experience they could get.
No, it's not worth it. Swindle's staying in the jungle's probably the best option here. Him being in the off lane, it's not going to amount to anything really. They wouldn't even go for that pull if he was down there. Oh, Z-Freak could be in trouble if they want to go for it. Stun was used top lane though. I think he stopped the...
TP, Brax is taking some auto attack damage here. Now the tether slowing him as well. This should be a fast blood. One more IO auto attack, and we will see Brax go down on that Nature's Prophet.
Yep. Interesting enough, note that Brax used to play the mid lane. MSS used to play the off lane. I've played a lot with Mojo, and he's a really good mid hero. But them switching now, it's kind of weird, to say the least.
Also, MSS the other day was standing in for... Who was it? He stood in for DC as a support. Like, I'm guessing it's just that he's talented in all of them, but we can see that Windrunner right now, for a little bit there, she had the edge on CS, although it looks like that might have just been creepy equilibrium. Actually, no. In her favor. Chessie now taking some of those hits from the Arcane Orb, and gonna be Astral imprisoned again. Just OD things. So. Meanwhile, Limp taking a bit of a beating from Brax. Speaking of game plans, kind of, I mean, they've got a Nature's Prophet, but the rest of this lineup doesn't look suited for early push or anything. Do you just definitely go the shotgun Morphling here, or wait to see more about how the game unfolds before you decide if you're TC?
No, well, we're gonna have to hold that thought. Brax is gonna be picked off, it seems. Oh, what's that?
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a short.
Okay.
That's a shorty.
I think they still get it. Yeah, the auto attacks will. IO doesn't care. And now they might be able to get Jason as well here. Taking quite a bit of damage. They do manage to pick him up. Handskin bottling up there. And Swindles as well, taking tower damage. Creep's gonna be unable to catch up Handskin. And Swindles getting away scot-free.
Yeah. Very unfortunate that Brax keeps feeding. This is one of those lanes that it's deceptive how quickly Tiny... Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm not sure they have something to stop MSS. They will have Shackle. There are a lot of trees around, but no vision on MSS means they can't take advantage. You were saying deceptive how fast Tiny can...
How fast he can move once you have the tether, and then all he needs to do is just toss you and then reposition. It was smart of him to toss back. It gives that movement flow onto the Nature's Prophet, ensuring that they're going to be able to chase him down. And mid lane, finally, they're going to set up for a kill. Can they get it though?
With 3 of them around, if they can't get this, they're in trouble. Chessie's stunned up. One more auto attack will do the trick. Fairy Fire not going to save his life. And finally, this Windrunner goes down. If you were Brax here, do you try to transition to the jungle with this lane being so hard? Or do you just kind of, I mean, the creeps all pushed in, you're getting good experience. Much better than Z-Freak on that pseudo off lane.
Yeah, I think he's doing a good job. He can still pull the creep wave off. There's no point in going to the jungle. He just needs to know the limitations of his hero. He's got phase boots now, and this IO looks pretty good.
Yeah, IO gonna take... Oh, the cost doesn't bounce, but the heal from Omni gonna secure themselves the kill. Now they throw out the repair onto Brax and yep. Limp. Okay, going for the TP. Is he gonna get away? It looks like he is.
So, this is... Oh, bottom lane. No.
Yeah, he's fine. He's walking it off.
Yep. No way for him. But this is what happens when you have a Morph lane in your game and you give him that early start. He can just sit in the lane, free. And sure, you might be giving a little bit of levels over to Tuskar, but the supports are doing a really good job from Shazam, realizing and understand their position on this game, where they can easily rotate around the map and get kills. So, really well played so far, and they need to keep up the aggression. You don't want to let this Tiny keep stacking, or this Wiz. They're going to get it.
Yeah, it looks like they set up the Astral. There's also going to be... Okay, IO coming on in, trying to help out Chessie. Doesn't manage to get the coconuts off, and Chessie should be able to back on out. Also in bottom lane, they TP'd really, actually. IO gonna get the... Okay, Chessie just power shotting down Jason, and now MSS, gonna beat him to the Arcane Rune. I don't know if you can be there, Handskin. He's ready with the tether. Needs a ton on that hero. Okay, and the Nature's Prophet Wrath comes through, and the Snowball manages to dodge him with Z-Freak, but one more auto attack will pick him off. TPs coming in from Limp. Swindles on the backline, getting ready to stun. TC suddenly sitting there with no mana. He's more fighting his strength though. Before that happened, there's the stun and the toss, and he should be going down.
Yep, mid lane though, we got more action. Dead Wind Ranger. Oh, and the
but they'll get the return kill. What? Wait, what happened in mid? Because I was focused on bottom.
Oh, but they're gonna get the whisk though.
Oh yeah. Goodbye, Headskin. You might have 5 health, but it's not gonna be at all on. Oh no, Limp's coming in, trying to get a combo off onto Nature's top, and he catch up Jason as well. Not looking like he's false enough to follow without Io back up, but Jason walking through the tower. Took about 5 tower hits there.
Yep. Do you wanted me to walk you through what happened?
Yeah, because I did not catch the mid lane.
Oh, I got the tail end of it, like 2-3 seconds before the Wind Ranger died. They tethered together, but they were able to chase him down. Didn't have enough mana for any turnaround play, and he just leveled up his ultimate on MSS. He went for the turnaround play because he stole so much intelligence from the Wind Ranger, but the balls to the face. It was too much for MSS to handle.
People underestimate the strength of those balls. Those things on Io, they are big, and now Swindle's taking a little bit of harassment in bottom, but he is going to just pop that Vendetta and
that's not good.
Just wander away, that's all. No excitement. Okay, this is some good America's Dota though. Last series I was casting for Epicenter, both teams just played entirely farming games. I'm much happier about the kills here.
It's a nice change of pace. They could have...
Swindles walked right under a sentry, and I think Brax. Oh, okay. Swindles, I think, realizes he's been seen. There are 4 here, though. Even if he's not killing anyone, he just wasted a bunch of time.
Yeah, it's more so he's being a bounty hunter right now, just scouting for information, seeing if he can get any pickoffs. That helps just to free farm for any of the other heroes. And so they finally rotated in the mid lane. They have Io Tiny here. It's going to be very hard for them to take him down. Hanskin's almost got his level 6, and they just are going around the map very effectively right now for complexity.
I'm still surprised though that Shazam, now this is something we often see, sometimes the teams with a bit more experience, as I would say complexity do at this point. You see them just get more farm even though they might be behind, and here actually things are incredibly even. TC doing a fantastic job of farming up a storm, although... well, with Savage here, there's not too much I think Complexity can do. While Windrunner tries to give it a go on Brax, but is unable to. You're gonna have to hold some Quelling Blades. Oh, but we have the relocate behind onto the Nature's Prophet. Brax is gonna try to hide out, but the Power Shot's gonna see him. There are the Io Balls. Nope, it's gonna be the toss that finishes him off. MSS is coming in, does have that Sanity's Eclipse. There's the Astral Imprisonment, and Tiny and Io actually looking like they just want to get on out, so goodbye, Chessie.
That was a 1-for-1 trade mid for an offlane. So at the end of the day, yes, you want to have that kill, but at the same time, it's still good space for the mid lane here. They need to be a little bit careful. They don't have to relocate out, and they smoked immediately. They have the setup with the Witch Doctor. No, it's still...
a really nice play there from Shazam if they can make this happen, but it doesn't look like they've got the catch. And with that, Shazam just deciding to pressure top tower instead. Kind of interesting movement. Lodi picking up the regen while the Omni decides to help out in top. Are Complexity getting anything out of this push? I guess Swindles is poking at bottom tower, but it's not out pushing a Nature's Prophet.
Yep. Good rotations from Shazam. They went mid immediately with one of their support heroes, and they were contested to make sure there's no damage on mid, and they got the top tower. So they also have, I was gonna say TC, I thought he was level 9, but he's only level 8. He doesn't have his replicate yet, so he can't easily join team fights at the moment. And when that happens, they can be split pushing with the Morphling. That's why this pick is so great right now. You're just able to split push around the map, and you don't care about the relocates unless Nymphis doesn't catch you up in lane.
Yeah, there's the blink combo. They smoke for that, showing it off. Coconuts are going to come on through. Nature's Prophet thinking about coming in, but not going to ultimately. And Limp getting healed up again. They're going to be careful. He has blink up in 1 second, but with the repel onto Jason, just going to toss him back anyway. But instead he won't take damage. And with the avalanche coming in, no, the heal bomb comes up. There's a shackle between the two of them. Limp actually getting kind of low, but nope. Io's here, healing him up. What is Swindle doing in those backlines? Doesn't matter. There's going to be the snowball in. They pop the ult, but it doesn't matter. Power shots are going to fly on through. There's a shackle, and he's going to kill. Oh no, Lin may actually go down if he's not careful here. He gets healed up again by the IO.
Yep, that was probably the worst time, like, attempt to save your allies in the mid lane, because TC just rotated to the bottom lane. And I think Complexity realized it. That means they're going to immediately be fighting a 4v5, in which case they were fighting a 3v5 just because they blew up the OD. And when you don't have both your big cores, they just need to give up that tower and not feed anymore. Maybe even just letting the Witch Doctor die, and Brax TPing in there and the Omni Knight getting caught out on SVG, that should not have happened.
Yeah, really good play by Complexity, taking advantage of it. Also, getting a bloody handskin, keeping people alive when they should be dead. So a good job there. We haven't touched on it too much, but Complexity, they're pulling ahead when it comes to experience, and obviously IO has 6, Swindles has 6, Tusk almost has 6, while we're still rocking level 4 on that 4 Witch Doctor.
That's the biggest problem about Pun every time I watch him play. He sacrifices a lot of his early farm to try to get either good wards or good ganks out, but he's not one of those carry players that will offer you, like, not even a Visage, but just like, say, a Lion. If he's playing Lion, he normally won't even play greedy, and sometimes you just have to play a little bit greedy to get your levels. They just broke his smoke, and they probably saw him ward there, but at least they get the tower tonight.
Not finding much for Shazam, although Shazam may get a quick kill on Z, break the shackles, doesn't manage to latch and comes out. There'll be a snowball off to the fact, where's the Nature's Prophet rotation in? Oh, they're gonna get off the Tusk quickly, and TC, very healthy here, so Swindle's unable to find anything, and yeah, I agree with the Witch Doctor not having much success here, although we'll have to see whether it can come. The IO tiny combo, the stun does come out, Brax also taking the power shot. There, the coconut still bounced between Chessie and Swindles a few times, and there's gonna be the pull through. Okay, there it is, the tiny avalanche toss combo coming out from TC. He is still not dead, TC.
Oh, he could have
finally goes down. Handskin, is he gonna fall? With one more auto attack. Oh, you mean he should have been asked? Yeah, yep.
Big misplay coming out from NSS. That's the sign of a person who doesn't spam OD in your pubs, so that's really good. I respect you even more now, Mojo, but you might be dead, buddy.
There's gonna be another avalanche toss combo. The power shot throughs as well, and now a snowball onto Jason. Walrus punch and a shackle. There's no escape with this Witch Doctor. Like, now is the best time to be an OD spammer. Respect or no?
Yeah, if he had saved him there, obviously Morphling wasn't maxed out. Well, actually, he was maxed out. That's wow. He was maxed out on strength and still taken down there. So he had enough mana. I don't think he would have had enough to waveform away at the end of the day. So it would have still kept him alive, and they would have been forced to stick around. In which case, Mojo could have dropped the hammer on top of those 4 heroes. But
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Just an unfortunate ton of events for Shazam. Also Complexity really playing where they know they need to be. So, Nature's Prophet will have the drums up. Looks like he's going that mech Nature's Prophet that we see occasionally.
Not a fan of it, but maybe in this game they're going to need as much survivability as they can. The biggest problem now is that one of their heroes just gets blown up before any of the team fights start. And when you're fighting 4v5s or 3v5s, you're just not going to win. That's point blank.
Also, I mean, they definitely on Shazam, they have a lineup where they could be really ratting hard, right? You've got a Morphling, you've got a Nature's Prophet, but they're going all in together, and Brax building that mech.
Well, they have to.
That they do plan on staying together.
They actually all have to stay together besides the Morphling. There's a Nyx Assassin on the enemy team and the Relocate. So their global presence from Complexity is 10 times stronger for pickoffs right now.
There's going to be, maybe gearing up for Relocate. No, on bottom, they're just buffing up the Tiny. They're going to trade this mid tower, hoping to get a tier 2 in the bottom. But they don't have much time for it, and that Replicate, Morphling may end up coming on over. Power shot through the dead tower, it doesn't really help it out. And yeah, Morphling does end up going down to that Replicate. So suddenly, don't think Tiny can stay up yet.
Yep, he's going to go for the Lincolns. It can help block a lot of the spells here on the side of Complexity. Chakra Shot's probably going to be the biggest one. And speaking of Wind Ranger, I want to see how Jesse's been doing. He got shut down pretty hard in the mid lane after the 5-minute mark. He has 3 deaths to his name. 3rd in net worth right now, though. That's just telling you how good Complexity are doing with their movements around the map and getting kills. And he only needs 1k more gold to get that Ags. It's going to help out a lot during these team fights, keeping him alive.
As you mentioned, there's a real scary thing for Shazam. They can't have people alone off farming, and it's going to hurt their economy eventually, right? Even being in their own jungle is dangerous, especially when we consider Shazam, they got a ward here. That's about it when it comes to presence, while Complexity has deep wards in Shazam's jungle.
Yep, and they don't know if they're doing Roche right now, they don't know if they're... like, what the heck they're doing, and all they're doing is staying clumped up. Sure, they just farmed out the jungle, but like a minuscule part, whereas Complexity are just going around the map, getting vision with the Nyx Assassin. I mean, we haven't talked about Swindles. He's going for a Midas. He expects this game to go late, and he's gonna have the levels now. Level 2 Vendetta could one-shot people. Oh, he's in the Sentry.
Yeah, okay, he's gonna open up the stone, won't be able to go because of the repel, but those coconuts don't bounce to anyone. Swindle's dodging a bit of damage with that spike carapace. He will fall here. Can the rest of Complexity find anything? Looks like they're backing on out. And a good pick-up for Shazam. As you said, Swindle's just walking into a Sentry.
Yeah,
that was 1k gold.
This is the second time that he's played perfectly. He baits in the hit. He knows the Nyx Assassin's about to hit him, and he repels immediately afterwards. That's twice now. Really good play so far from him, and with the Nyx Assassin dead, easy tower here in the mid lane.
And not too much Complexity can capitalize on. We actually have the headdress on Omni Knight and the buckler. Okay, never mind. Nature's Prophet did finish the mech. I wasn't sure if they were going something slightly different, you know, just optimizing, but no, Nature's Prophet has finished off the mech. Adaptive Strike gonna fly out, just making sure Zephyr gets the hell away from their tower. And with that, for tier 2, for Shazam.
That's good. They were able to put pressure on mid lane. So with this Omni Knight, we're gonna have to start talking and seeing how much of a play his repel is gonna come into the game. So who is gonna get the Diffusal Blade on the side of Complexity? The first 15 minutes of Omni Knight, it's not scary. It's when he starts maxing out that repel. Once he becomes 9, 10, it starts to become very scary. And once they go for these pushes, then you can't kill the OD. You can't kill the Omni Knight, or you can't kill the Morphling either, just because he has Lincolns and he's going to have a lot of HP. So they're going to have a very hard time of Complexity to decide who to go on without a Diffusal Blade. And I'm assuming they're going to get it on... I assume Chessie afterwards. You really would like to have a Blink Dagger right after the Ags, but I think you might be forced into the fast Diffusal Blade on the wing.
How is Complexity taking people down? Actually, speaking of taking people, nope, they're gonna get the Morphling on out. They're gonna have one target repelled, a lot of physical damage which is what Windrunner would love to put out, of course, being blocked by that Guardian Angel. And Chessie, the Ags just arrived. Love to see how they start bringing people down.
So Swindles in the last ultimate didn't get anything really done, but they have eyes on them. That was really good play from TC, not replicating back up to the top lane. If that had happened and they knew that the TP was on cooldown, they would have immediately relocated down into the bottom lane, and it would have been a 4v5, and the Morphling would not have been able to come. So heads up play from TC. Everybody says he's not a good carry, but every time I watch him play, he does a lot of work, and it's sometimes his team letting him down. But
yeah, I would say, not quite able to get the pick up there, and they look like they'll just push down top since Limp had that Ags for a while now. I agree with you. I think TC's a solid player. I think the big issue in Dota right now, especially in North American scene, is everybody wants something better, right?
We want an Arteezy and it's a male. We don't want anybody else.
Exactly, because they can get older still, even though I don't know. I just see that as a bit of a problem. The courier actually is okay. It's not going to see Swindle. Swindle's stalking the courier. He's actually standing on a sentry, but of course it's nighttime, so courier sees very little. Shazam going into Roshan. Putting the Sprout down. I did the max out. Oh, he did actually kill the donkey. That's Oh, that's what you get for having a donkey courier instead of, you know, some fancy golden Roshan or whatever.
You know, true story, I went back to the donkey courier about 5 months ago or something for, you know, a good 2-3 months. But, yeah, I've been using the recent one here. Nice Roshan, though, getting back to...
Why would you use the donkey courier? Yeah, it's good
So
job
good.
them getting Roshan, but more importantly, like, I think couriers are the only cosmetic I even care a little bit about, because I don't cosmetic, but I could get on board with couriers. Like, it's like having pets. Really hard-working pets.
To be fair, for the first 3 or 4 years of my Dota career, I never really played support, so I never bought the courier anyway. But, you know, in the past 2 years or so, I've been playing support more, and so I've been using the courier a lot more, and then I was just kind of tired of not seeing Donkey anymore. So I wanted him back for a little bit.
Either way, on Nature's Prophet, okay, so he's looking like he's building up an Ags as his next item. Unfortunately, no courier. He'd actually saved up a lot of gold. I wasn't sure if he was going to try to go sheep or something else. And OD, we already talked about how MSS has been having a hard time, but all he has is the Blink, the Aegis, and Drums. I don't know if I'm miscalculating, but MSS not exactly rocking a lot of gold.
No, you're right. He's 5th in the net worth right now, and his CS, it's only 94, but that's just because they've been able to find the pickoffs on him, and he's forced to group up around everybody. If he had went for that play, unfortunately they don't have any vision. They could have killed the Wisp there, but that's the problem right now for Shazam, is the warding aspect of the game. They used this ward for Roche, so they were able to take it, but that doesn't help you in the longevity of things where, like, oh, bottom lane.
Oh yeah, we've got the roll on in. TC's gonna have his Lincoln popped. I'm not sure they can do anything else, and Swindle's actually in a little bit of trouble. Spike Carapace comes out. TC also has a replicate ready, so it looks like Swindle should be able to wander away here while Z-Freak has to hoof it since Swindle's TP'd. Actually, Z-Freak may die. I know it's... Oh, TC deciding not to chase.
So, at the end of the day, even if Swindle went down there, I think that's still a good play. You're forcing the enemy to TP respawn or just come on you in the bottom lane, and that just gives more time for the Wind Ranger to farm and the Tiny and Wisp to do their work, split pushing. And that's what they want to do right now for Complexity. They want to buy enough time to where the Aegis runs out, and they're able to then group up, smoke, and make a play. So just poking and prodding here onto TC, it's kind of a mental thing too. You're like, okay, where the hell is this Nyx assassin gonna be? And that's why we might see a gem soon picked up for Shazam. He's just that annoying this game.
And I wouldn't be surprised. I think it's a good investment, as well as helping to get control back of their jungle. Shazam has certainly gotten a bit back in recent past few minutes, but there's still 5,000 gold behind, 7.5k experience behind. That's a crap ton right now for where we are in this game. Like, it's not great for Shazam, and Tiny's just gonna get bigger and bigger. I mean, sure, you have GA to deal with some of that, but he might just ignore you and take down your towers if that happens.
It'll be interesting to see what they want to do and how they force out this game because of the split pushing that we talked about. Morphling can just replicate his hero, TP back to base, and then come back to the team fight. But so they have one way to stop the split push coming in from the Wisp Tiny, the Rat coming in. But at the same time, they're going to eventually have to find a team fight for Shazam on their terms. Else, Complexity... I'm not saying they necessarily have the better late game, just because these two cores in OD and Morphling are absolutely monsters in the later game. But Complexity is, they can just find the right pickoffs and the right timing. They can do a lot of structural damage and a lot of pickoffs.
Yeah, we've all seen how Io and Tiny can win you the game, even if they're deep in the hole. And this is a game where Complexity are ahead. Swindle's gonna continue stalking around. Replicate made on Jason, so he'll be sure to let the rest of his team know that. I feel like this Nyx, and obviously it's a pickup to counter the OD, and he's definitely striking fear into their hearts, but he hasn't gone on the OD too much. Do you think that's a problem, or do you think that Swindle, he hasn't gotten a kill, he's gotten quite a few assists, he's doing enough work just by scaring them, making it so the jungle's undoable? Oh, nice waveform through by TC.
I think the biggest thing right now is this SVG's been humping MSS, and when you're having this Omni Knight constantly behind you, there's just no chance you can go on a repel target without a.
Oh, okay, did they just try to jump the illusion? Yep, it looks like they did. Limp now gonna start taking this off the burst, but IO, okay. On the bottom lane, they do manage to kill Nature's Prophet, but by astrolling 4 hand skin, it means he can't relocate them, and they will lose the IO. At the same time, though, they lost Nature's Prophet for that engagement, and the bottom tier 2 being pushed down by Complexity.
Yeah, having an Axe on the Wind Ranger, they're gonna be pressuring too. Does he have buyback? I think he has buyback on the Wisp too. Yeah, they have buyback, so they might not be expecting this Tiny if he goes back to the base or anything. They could make this big play on the bottom tier 3, and they need to get back here. And there we go, Repel starting out from Mojo. Can catch anybody.
No, even though Chessie's super low on mana, just able to blink on out, and all of them so mobile right now. And here they come, the map TP coming in. His tower should be going down anyway. Oh no, he goes on the replicate again. TC gonna be just fine.
So, at the end of the day, good trade. Tier 2 for tier 2. They also killed off the Wisp. Obviously, you would rather get a core in the Tiny, but a Wisp for a Furion at this stage, it's obviously it's better to kill the Furion because he's more net worth, but making sure that you're not afraid constantly of that relocate on the map, it's also a good thing to have.
And speaking of the IO, we're gonna see him getting closer and closer to that mech. Kind of interesting that it feels like, right way to say this, Windrunner and Tiny kind of sucking all the farm out of the map.
Yeah, that's right. They're soaking it all up. They're getting drenched. They're eating the heads of the creeps. Get some gore in this. We'll get graphic. That's what we're gonna get.
I was just like, where are you going? I don't think that's how it works at all. And you're like, nope, we're eating heads, sticking them on pikes. There's a couple of those actually, I think, in the Dire Jungle, heads on pikes. But some people like that business. This Tiny has 3k gold as well to spare. Obviously, maybe he's saving a bit for buyback just in case when you're against a Nature's Prophet, you do have to be careful. But what is your next item? He needs to keep that. Oh, okay, apparently your next item is Butterfly.
So this is a really good item. There's 2 ways to counteract the OD. One, it's the BKB, which I was gonna mention. I'm not gonna take credit and say I was gonna.
Like Fun is dead. Well played.
But another way that I think one of the most underrated items on Tiny is the Butterfly. Just because he has a lot of HP already to begin with, I think he can get away with this. It helps out a lot for the attack speed, and the biggest thing I'm trying to get to is the evasion part. It hurts the OD tremendously because he's never going to build an MKB, and it forces him to either go on a different target or, and then the Tiny should be fine to go ham in the team fights. The problem is, you don't have BKB, Sandy's Eclipse popped on your head, could be a problem.
TC is coming on, okay, never mind, there's gonna be the blink and the tether away, I wasn't quite sure. Yeah, Sandy's Eclipse is a problem, and this Tiny, he has issues with the Sprout. I mean, do you rely on your teammates getting full stealth so you can eventually drop this Quelling Blade, or do you have to hold this forever?
Well, they have 1 force death, like you talked about. That's a really good point to bring up on Swindles, so that'll help him. They also have the blink on Tusk, and he can snowball him out. So I don't think the Quelling Blade crazy shenanigans is going to happen necessarily. Tiny versus Tiny.
We'll see exactly how it ends up going for this one. I mean, we might see some Sprout Wars.
Blue Tiny's gonna beat Red Tiny.
I don't think Blue Tiny has a chance of beating Red Tiny. But the other big thing that I'm wondering about, as you mentioned, is whether Tiny ends up forced to maybe go with BKB as that lost item or something, just to deal with a lot of what's coming out of Shazam. So, especially if, you get... I don't think we'll see the 4-second adaptive strike coming out of Morphling here at all, but maybe it happens at some point and they do use it to pick off the Tiny, knowing that they have the damage on OD.
Yeah, if they can somehow jump the Tiny and on the back lines find a Wisp before he relocates, it could pay off dividends, and if you find a Tiny as he doesn't have the buyback, that could be game, straight up. So we're gonna have to find out what happens. And meanwhile, speaking of the bottom lane here, Brax is very far out.
Oh, and Swindles, he wants to eat his head. Oh, he's running up. Not gonna be able to catch him.
If he was there 5 seconds earlier, or had a blink dagger, I think Brax was 90% dead.
Oh, but Complexity just gonna wait a little bit. The Roche did just respawn, so they can take that and then, you know, live not as punished for going for that buyout. And it doesn't look like they have any sort of idea on Shazam. This entire portion of the map dark for them, so they're gonna find nothing. Complexity actually saying, hey, I'm pretty sure Shazam is up in our jungle, so let's just ignore them. And while the F-Blade is up on Morphling, he is, what, 6,000 gold behind that Tiny.
That's just the problem of with Tiny. You can be anywhere and everywhere on the map, you can farm more efficiently, but because of this, the mixed assassin pick at the end, it's just created them so much space around the map to do, mostly it's just having the fear of him being around you, and then you get constantly, then you get blown up by the relocate.
Someone's about to get blown up. There he goes. They're going in on him. He manages to save himself a little bit. He could actually borrow. He's in that old form. One more army. No, Tiny coming in. There's going to be the toss. There's going to be the... Oh no, the TA is blown, but Io Gold don't care about that. Neither does the Shackle MSS. He's going to fall. The other two will get on out. But they've got an OG, the big target, and Swindles doesn't even die.
Huge misplays coming in there. It's more so that Swindles had good reaction time too, but TC, they don't have a stun. That's their biggest problem. That's why you see this Nature's Prophet going back for a Hex, but TC has to be a little bit more mindful that Spike Carapace, you're going to return all the damage that you're trying to do onto Swindles here. And if he had just held it a little bit longer, they would have gotten the easy kill and potentially could have gone out.
Oh, there's gonna be the burst onto Swindles, but again, Spike Carapace saving his life. Now he's borrowing in. TC already having replicated away. Lipso just saying, hey, I love your high ground. I've got Nature's. I don't give two hoots about any of this. SVG running towards him with the repel on. I'm not sure that's going to save your life. There it is. They're going to sprout him off, and he right now does not have an easy way out. Where is Swindles with his full stuff? Just going to ignore it. Going to borrow in, get up his really long impales. He actually doesn't have an Aether Lens, but whatever. Blink away from Limp. Still, that thing is long, even without the Aether Lens.
Yeah. I think it's about equal to having a Sand King. I think Sand King's still a little bit longer, but still, that tail is... This Spike Carapace, it can be used very effectively when they're sieging the high ground or defending. That's the biggest thing about having this Nyx Assassin now. It's you've got the Zerg on your team. You don't even have to blitz them. You just can stay on your side or the enemy. Now we have a really good wraparound here. TC, can you find somebody?
He's looking, I think he'll blow up Handskin. There it is, the shotgun in action. Swindle still running away. Where is the vision? It doesn't look like they have any. Oh, Lipto gets torn out here by Nature's Prophet. Without the Io to back him up, he does still have the manages to get the Avalanche on too, but someone's gonna give her a repel. And Limp, he's being brought down. It looks like he'll be brought down at least once. Can they get anybody from Complexity here in time? No, Swindle, he's being caught out as well. He's gonna throw out the stun, but Limp, now he's taking the death wound. He's just trying to stand there and back away, so he's taking barely any damage from his death wound because of that AC. But yeah, he is just gonna finally maybe go down the F-Blade. He should, I don't know if he goes down out of this Astral Imprisonment. Yes, he does. Swindles will fall as well. Holy Hannah, that is one Tiny that took ages to die.
I like your pun. I wanted to laugh, but it was just too good.
As you said, the miss chance, the way that works is if it has bounces, they can't miss, but the initial Death Ward shots can miss, and he got a bunch of them.
Yeah, I'm really confused because the Rod of Atos should help out tremendously against this.
Yes.
With this accuracy. I think it reduces it to like 15%
gives you...
evasion or something along the lines, maybe 17%. So it's really good to have, and I'm not sure if he placed it onto the Tiny, and if he missed that many times, I swear Mojo missed like 5 hits in a row or something crazy. Yeah, it's absurd.
RNG. There's gonna be a nice little bit of the shotgun. For folks who didn't know what we're talking about, Rod of Atos has something called Cripple on it, which actually increases your accuracy on the target who is being slowed by the Atos. Not something everybody knows about, and it's one way that you can deal with evasion.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not the best, obviously. MKB, still the king of that, but something, especially on a hero where you naturally go Atos.
Yeah. Maybe one day they'll buff Silver Edge to cancel out items too. But
I don't know, I think it's already a good item.
Yeah. Then you'd have to buff it up more, like the cost of it or something.
I think there were complaints a week ago where people realized it actually works on spell damage as well as physical.
Yeah, the reduction thing.
Yeah. Oh, wall point? Okay. Not gonna get it this time. He's gonna be Ice Shot coming out, but TC is already out. And you mentioned it earlier, but I do think that TC is playing pretty well this game. This Morphling, despite being such a squishy target, getting work done around the map, and now finally starting to shotgun people down.
Yep. The biggest thing that I have to say about TC is he's always in the games, and they always seem to go late game against, you know, the best teams, but can you close out games as carry heroes, as mid heroes? That's where you start seeing the Arteezis, the Smails, the people who perform in the clutch, in the late stages of the game. That's who you want on your carries. And he's just going to have to show up more and more with this new lineup. Oh, Swindles.
Okay, they definitely sold out. There's gonna be the waveform on through. Swindles gets him with the impale.
Gem?
GT tries to help out, but it is not enough. There's a gem on the deck. Somebody needs to pick this up. Nobody has spots. Everybody has too many items. Finally, we're gonna grab it. Looks like OD grabbed that one. We have a relocate onto bottom. Nothing. We're just wave cutting. Okay, I get it. We're just wave cutting, making sure that they can't pressure, but this might be when Complexity decides to go a bit of high ground. We've also got a GD on the Windrunner, so this tower is gonna melt. And up next, Rax, I mean, what, 6-shotting it at this point in the game? It's gonna be an Astral Imprisonment. That wasn't coordinated at the same time as the Adapted Strike, and it doesn't matter if you stop Limp, because Jesse still able to do a huge amount of damage. There it is, Limp now unable to attack. He manages to get the Avalanche out. There's a shackle just between two creeps, but they've done it. They've broken the base, gotten the Rax. Coconut's flying around on the backline, and Chetty blinks before they're able to do damage, and his Deathwolf's gonna do nothing. Swindle's coming back in, but he's gonna wander away, now in the burrow, taking way less damage. TC's had his Lincoln blocked and Limp. He is getting right back in there onto the front lines. MSS taking a lot of damage here. Maybe they'll be able to slow him down, but MSS still done up here, and finally he falls. GA just a second too late to save MSS. He buys back. All the GA is gonna be knocked off, and it's looking like Gem going over. Double Gem. Tusk is blinged out.
No, there was as much praise as I gave TC, I'm gonna have to take a lot of it back there. He didn't do the full combo at the beginning of the team fight onto the Wisp. Instead, he ethelated the Tiny himself, and he adapted strike to the Wisp. So could have potentially blew up the Wisp at the beginning of the team fight. Instead, they chase outside the base right as Omni Knight is respawning. Like 3 seconds, he would have been up, and they could have just waited just a little bit for that. But chasing too far, TC wave swarms in, and not having the repel cripples Mojo. He cannot move in, doesn't have that BKB, all greed items, so once SVG goes down, doesn't have buyback, it's easy sledding for Complexity when they want to take this high ground.
We do have the sheep up on the Nature's Prophet. I'm actually gonna have a look over the items, because this game has had quite a few kills, or attempted kills, distracting us a bit. Still OD. It looks like, do you think he's just going for the moonshot to make sure he gets those arcane orb stacks up faster?
Yeah, it seems like it. And look what, I wanted to turn my attention to the Battle Fury Tiny here.
Yeah.
It's something that you never will see unless maybe a Furion is in your game. Obviously, we've seen a lot of big plays come out at the majors, and it just... Everybody has that Quelling Blade now at the back of your mind, getting sprouted for 6 seconds, and the cooldown's only 8. It's just, you can keep spamming it in team fights, and you're not going to move. That's the worst part about it. But we'll have to see if it works out for him, the Battle Fury, and not going for BKB. Oh, Swindles. They don't have the gem anymore. He can do whatever he wants now.
Yeah, he is back to being free, and of course, the supports on Shazam, we haven't touched on this too much, but they are poor, both of them, bottom of the network, even with all the towers taken for Complexity, and if they have to be forced to keep buying up items like sentries, they're just gonna stay poor.
They did a really good job so far of not losing 2 sets of Raxes for Shazam. Could have turned out horribly, but because Mojo bought back, they're still in this game. So obviously that crippled him and his, item progression a bit here. But Shazam just needed to farm a little bit up, maybe go for the next Roche. They need to find some way to scout it out. To either send the Furion trees constantly, and this is a really good play actually. He just did it. I promise guys I wasn't looking and I wasn't cheating, so seeing if it's going to be respawned here. He needs to keep doing that though. where you have constant vision over the Roshan pit. You have to make a big smoke play. I don't even. Can I ask you a question if you know? Rip Courier though. Oh, here we go.
Okay, Limp, he's in a bit of trouble, but as you talked about that, okay, he's just gonna get relocated to safety. Now Swindles is behind them. Maybe they'll decide to go back in. I don't know, with the repel up there. Okay, yeah, it's just gonna be Hanskin giving up his life. What was your question?
I think I forgot. I'm gonna need the second to rethink.
It was probably about Roche.
Oh, have we seen a Sanity's Eclipse this game? I think we might have seen one.
Well, I don't remember Sanity's Eclipse, so you're right, it's probably only one. And so there's good and there's bad. We see sometimes players drop it too early before they've stacked up in. But not dropping it at all, even if you don't get a big enough int differential, sometimes draining your opponent's mana can be what wins you the day.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm just trying to figure out if, you know, Twitch chat out there can help me at all. How many times they've seen this Enemy's Eclipse? I know they know everything, but I think I've only seen it once.
They're very good at Dota.
They're 100k MMR, you know?
Wow, I did not know we were up to 100k. I gotta put in some more hours.
Well, there's like
so
100,000 of them, and each of them have one.
Oh,
so.
I was not expecting you to bust out the really good flame. I thought you were gonna be like nice and flattering. you just went full flame. I like it. Either way, we are definitely a bit in the hole for Shazam. They're 15,000 net worth behind, 15,000 experience as well. I'm actually pretty dang impressed that 40 minutes in they've only lost the melee racks in the top lane. I think there's still hope for them, but it's a long uphill battle, and having the Roche taken right out from under them, that's not the way to go.
Yeah, I love these long games too. It's the best thing to be in when you're a co-caster like me and you really love Dota and you're just thinking of new things to win the team. Like, one big item could be the next thing to win a huge team fight. And you have a lot of theory crafting here, you have a lot of good movements potential you can talk about. And right now they're trying to smoke out and they're trying to catch the Wisp Tiny. Once again, this is the correct play. Try and find them. Brax, so close. Oh, poor guy. He just went up a little bit.
How does Complexity know this? Obviously they have some wards. How did they know they were smoked? Complexity, I mean, maybe they were waiting for someone to pop up that they could jump here, but it just reads to me like Complexity knew it was a smoke coming.
I'm not exactly sure. Sometimes they've been in a lot of big games and big situations now for Complexity that they know sometimes when things are going
okay,
right.
They're going in on TC. They managed to get the stun. They popped the Lincoln. There's gonna be a relocated as well. TC, he does manage to use the waveform. He gets on but Ice Shell's blocking him out. He throws the Escalade on himself so he can't get attacked, but they have magical damage and you are still stuck there. They will catch TC and that is huge. He does have buyback.
Can he use it?
Okay, and now they're going in deeper. There's gonna be the top out to save himself. There's gonna be Swindles stunning them all off with a spike carapace, and this may just be GG. Swindles with the impale, with the spike carapace, currently going down. TC tries to throw out the jump down, but it's coming up. Lift still almost at a third of his health after all of that, and suddenly Tower's gonna be full, and oh my goodness, Limp four-shotting the range. I know it's weaker, but that's a hell of a lot weaker. No more buybacks left on Shazam. And Brax trying to do what he can. Shadow doesn't actually match this, except he's just going to have to do it with the auto attack, but more than enough. TC going down as well. GG's are cold. We're headed into a game 2, right?
Yep. And it was such a close game, and one mistake kind of cost them the game. It was the Omni Knight getting kicked off in that top lane, and because they didn't prioritize BKBs on the OD or Morphling, which one of them needed to get it. Either they needed to have it at 40 minutes, or they were hoping that they could hold on till maybe like 50 minutes in the game, and then one of them was going to get it. But you definitely need it against this heavy burst team that has a ton of stuns coming in from Complexity, and not having it on either hurt them a lot. The reason why they lost the top racks and Mojo was forced to buy back, Omni Knight got picked off, and very unfortunate. And that's just showing you the composure of the Complexity here in the later stages of the game. That's what their lineup's meant to do. They're meant to get pickoffs, and that's how they won. Also, you could see the same thing for Complexity too. Once they start getting these hexes online and these blink daggers and the F-blade on Morphling, then they could start picking off people, but Complexity just did a better job in the later game.
Yeah, and that one last team fight, as you said, picking off the Morphling just won them the game. Either way, folks, that's gonna just be game 1. This is a best of 3 in the upper bracket. We'll get you all into game 2 right quick. I'm Llama Down Under, joined by Rai Boris. Twitter handles up on the right-hand corner of the screen. Let's go to the game 2. Please enjoy the short wait and the music.